Hello guys, today let's talk about piano technique and how to improve it. The main challenges in piano playing in improving your technique in order to be able to play difficult pieces is two things. The first one is precision and the second one is speed. Precision is trained by practicing the same thing many times, many repetitions, slowly, and developing the correct muscle memory. Now we get to the speed part, which is the more complicated part because basically there we have our limiting factor as a pianist, which is tension. Tension is the limiting factor of a pianist. You can go as fast as you don't feel tension. Now, in order to understand how to overcome this problem of tension, we need to understand what tension is. Now, tension is basically just your muscle getting fatigued. You play with your fingers, and the muscles that are responsible for that movements are getting fatigued. Tension is the lactic acid that you feel developing in your muscles. Now, in the conventional piano teaching today, you get the notion that if you have tension, if your muscles are getting fatigued, you have something wrong in the way you're playing. Your technique is incorrect. Your form is wrong. But that's not the case. Tension doesn't work that way. Tension is independent from your form. To understand what I mean by that, you need to understand that piano playing is a physical activity and it's very taxing in the advanced level. You have thousands of repetitions in a matter of a couple of minutes on the weighted keys. You press thousands of times the fingers on the weighted keys, which are not that light in comparison to our finger strength. And now, most people think finger strength is not related to piano playing because they think about grip strength, about grabbing. Most of the people that are healthy can grab their own body weight, let's say. But the pressing motion in piano playing is very weak. It's the motion that you press an elevator button or when you write on the computer. These muscles this movement is much weaker than you think. You can maybe produce like 2 kilograms of force with that finger. Now, the weight of the key is 50 grams usually. But it doesn't mean that we press always 50 grams. To achieve a bigger sound, we press with more force. So we can press 200 grams of weight on each finger and etc. Now, when you think about the amount of repetitions of piano playing that can get to hundreds or thousands of repetitions with the same fingers, and you think about our maximum capacity with the pressing power, it becomes a type of endurance sport. So basically, piano playing is an endurance sport, coordinated one. This is the view in the most superficial level. We talk about piano technique, not about the music. In order to produce the right music, we need to understand the most superficial and physical way of playing, which is basically movements and muscles. Now, when you think about any physical activity, you have your form and tension is two completely different things. For example, if I go running and I have the best form in the world, it doesn't matter. I won't beat someone that has a bad form but is much more trained than me. So form is very important and would get you far, and you need to practice your form, but it doesn't mean that you won't feel tension. They are two separate entities. For example, if you want to train the squat in the gym, let's say you think only about your form and you train with light weights, and you always think about the form of the squat, and you don't start training with heavier weights, you won't get better. Maybe you will get better in your form, but your muscles won't be able to produce more force and more power. So you need to train. You need to understand that the correct form is very important, but it's independent from the amount of tension that you can endure. So basically, tension we can only become more tension resistant. We can't release tension. It doesn't work that way. Anytime we press a key at a certain intensity, we produce tension. and it depends on your muscles' ability on how much they can endure without problem. With training, with many repetitions of training, your muscles and movements get better and more efficient and stronger. After a while, you get to the point that stuff that used to be easy for you, stuff that used to be hard for you, now are very easy, and you won't feel even an ounce of, let's say, of difficulty, of fatigue. So that's the game. You need to understand the tension. You only get more tension resistance, and you need to think about it when you are training.